Hello, hello, and welcome back to Temptations Ballad. We're still just catching up with everyone, I assume. Oh, sorry, there we go. Change that real quick, and I guess we're gonna investigate the scene of battle. Oh, 2 from Artemi. Okay. Artemi frowned. The shrill sound of heated argument echoed harshly across the street. She certainly hoped none of the villagers were getting into trouble. Glancing around, Artemi caught sight of 2 familiar figures. Agatha and Wes stood over several collapsed crystal towers whilst shouting furiously at each other. As Artemi approached them, Agatha's bitter scowl immediately melted into a worried frown. She waved at her utterly, her face swimming with great concern. "Oh, there you are. Is your friend okay? I heard that the Bonebreaker boy went through a rough beating." Artemi bowed politely with a reassuring smile. "Cole seemed well enough after my treatment. His injuries have fully healed with no lasting harm. All he needs now is rest." Advice that he immediately ignored and then ran off. The knight grumbled. "I suppose he's probably fine if he's still capable of ignoring my every plea." Though her face was still tense with concern. "Oh, is that a new portrait? Okay. This was all my fault. Had I secured the crystal towers more carefully, we could have helped your friend before the battle reached such a violent end. I told you these things are a bunch of junk. Do away with them, I'd say. Nothing beats the good old city watch patrolling the streets." Agatha scowled. I doubt your city watch fellows would fare well against the demon. They'd no doubt get knocked unconscious like the rest of the passerbys on the street. Wes crossed his arms stubbornly. Well, you can't know for sure. Collodi managed to stay conscious at first, didn't he? Collodi is clearly made from sturdier stuff than the average peasant. Agatha let out a tired sigh and turned towards Artemi. Apologies, chosen one. I doubt you were here to listen to our bickering. If there is anything I can do to assist you, you need only ask. You needn't be so hard on yourself. As a knight, I should have been there to protect my friend. I can't seem to stop letting down people. Artemi groaned. Nod on her thumb of her glove. That seems okay. With a bitter scowl. I would like to ask for a few excerpts for your expertise, yes, as an enchanter and scientist. Is there anything you found that could help me track down this demon or her accomplice? Or better yet, are there any suspects you have in mind? The old bat fiddled with her spectacles as scanned the destroyed street. With her spectacles as scanned. Okay. Well, for starters, the demons somehow managed to hijack all of my crystal towers with infernal magic. Every single one. None of my defensive spells were set off during the battle. In fact, the demon used my own damn crystals to cast her life-draining spell that caused everyone to pass out. Agatha groaned in frustration. If I had only been more careful, maybe none of that, nobody would have been hurt today. Be kinder to yourself, Lady Agatha. The blame rests on my shoulders. The curator's chosen should be the defender of the people. The old bat smiled slightly, though heavy guilt still weighed across her face. You should learn to take your own advice, young knight. But thank you. I'm still surprised that this demon managed to hijack all of my crystals, though. Hey! I remembered that some kid went around peeing on all of them before the tournament started. Maybe that mucked up your crystals doohickey somehow. My magic was stopped by powerful infernal magic, not the trickle of urine. Good gods, what is it like inside the feeble mind of yours? Hey now, I was just trying to help. You can help by carrying all these crystals back to the tower. Wait, these crystal towers back to the warehouse for testing. What? All of them? I just carried them all out here this morning. If you should carry them out, you can carry them back. Come on, we can't leave a bunch of demon-hijacked crystals lying around. Wes groaned before reluctantly rolling up his sleeves. Not an ounce of respect around here, for the lot of you. As the city watch sheriff struggled to lift a crystal, he glanced towards Artemi sheepishly. Say, lass, I was just wondering. You sure Colodey's doing all right? That was a lot of blood on the street. His wounds were severe, but my healing magic made short work of them. Cole should be fine with some rest. Artemi smiled. Why ever do you ask? Are you worried? Me? Worried for that damn Bonebreaker boy. In your dreams, lass. Wes spluttered? Okay, furiously before scrambling down the street in a huff. Well, there. And off he goes again. Well, now that we're alone. Agatha scanned their surroundings briefly. After ensuring there was no prying ears, the old bat leaned towards Artemi urgently. Is something the matter? The enchanter's voice was low, discreet. It was in a low, discreet whisper. Listen carefully, chosen one. You asked earlier for suspects behind the identity of the demon's host. This is just between you and me, but in my honest opinion, the royal family is definitely behind it in some way. Specifically, Roderick. Artemi was taken aback. The king? But he is dead. The bat nodded impatiently. Yes, yes, and thank the heaven for that. But think about it. Roderick spent the past decade studying life itself. The man spent incredible resources into experimenting a way to magically extend Queen Tabitha's feeble lifespan. As a personal researcher to the royal family, let me tell you, some of those experiments were concerning. Artemi's mind was reeling. Are you sure? Are you saying that there is ill intent behind the royal family? Why didn't you come forward with this information sooner? Agatha laughed bitterly. Oh, come, dear chosen one. Do you really think a man like King Roderick wouldn't have ways of maintaining his secrets? Even now, there is so much I cannot tell you. My mouth is sewn shut in a manner of speaking. But here's what I can tell you. The enchanter's voice dipped lower. The following are publicly known facts. King Roderick spent the past decade studying life magic to preserve the life of the queen. Then the locust famine occurred, where thousands of people had their life drained out of them. Afterwards, the queen's health miraculously took a turn for the better, but then continued to deteriorate over the years. Agatha adjusted her glasses with an urgent frown. Fast forward to present times, and the king suddenly has a son, out of the blue, despite the fact that he and the queen are an infamously barren couple. Soon after, he and the queen passed away within days of each other. And then a week later, demons showed up in the city and start sucking the life out of people in the street. Make of this information what you will. Artemi took a step back, suddenly feeling overwhelmed. This theory of yours is a lot to take in. But you must consider it. This is your duty, as creators chosen to protect the people of this world, after all. Artemi felt her chest lurch uncomfortably. True, it was her duty to protect and serve. But it was also her duty as a knight of Axia to protect the royal family, was it not? This was a heavy accusation to process. But Lady Agatha, you worked with King Roderick as the royal family's personal researcher. Why would you continue working for them all these years if you suspect they had bad intention? Yo, good pay is good pay. Agatha's wing slumped. An air of melancholy suddenly hung over her, washing over the enchanter like a painful wave. The old bat rubbed her eyes warily. Roderick and I go way back. We may have even been friends back when we first started working together. The two of us had a lot in common. Too much. The enchanter let out an exhausted sigh as she took off her glasses to clean them. Difficult memories swam across her face as she carefully considered her next words. Earlier today, you asked if I had any children. Oh. Artemi bowed her head deeply. I'm terribly sorry for the insensitive comment. I didn't mean to cause any distress. Agatha shook her head quietly. 5. I've been through 5 miscarriages. Her head hung low. Perhaps that is why I felt a kinship with Roderick in the beginning. We were both just simple fools, yearning for children of our own. Agatha's eyes softened. This was why I was originally hired as the Royal Arcane Researcher. You know how nobles get their bloodlines, and their heir obsessions. I was ordered to develop an arcane solution to this issue. There was an excited glint in her eyes. Can you imagine a world where the barren, the elderly, the sickly, everyone would have a chance to sire a family of their own, regardless of unfortunate circumstances? But surely they could choose adoption instead. Agatha scoffs. Good luck convincing the nobles. They treasure their blood like it runs with gold. Regardless, raising a child is such a personal decision. Wouldn't it be great for everyone to have more options? A passionate yet bittersweet smile spread across the enchanter's face. Back then, I would imagine the child I would bring into this world. A little one that I can raise into a beautiful grown person, someone to pass my love to. I would name her Rosie. With the royal family's coffers backing me, I finally had the resources to make my dreams come true. As I toiled restlessly in the arcane lab for years and years, I yearned for the day I would finally meet her. Agatha's smile faltered. Artemi felt her heart lurch at the sight. For just a brief moment, the enchanter looked utterly empty. Like the shell of a once passionate woman. Did you succeed? A bitter scowl flickered across Agatha's face. Well, our wonderful little Prince Cassius is running about, isn't he? Artemi gaped. Are you saying? Agatha gritted her teeth and glared into the ground. No. Roderick took my life's work, my dreams, and defiled it. Her words came out in a disgusted spat. My life's work was made from a place of love. I was to provide the gift of parenthood to those who truly wish to raise a family, and all the love that it entails. Why? Just look at the Collodi boy. Those bone breakers, so full of baggage and strife, yet deep down filled with such love and support for one another. That is the kind of family my magic was meant to create. Roderick, on the other hand. Cassius, that abomination. That is not what my project was meant for. What he did was an insult to everything I hold dear. Agatha's shoulders, shaking with her utter rage, suddenly stilled. And for his misdeeds, Roderick will pay handsomely. Artemi took a step back, a chill ran down her spine. The enchanter smiled slightly. I suppose after my little rant, you may have risen quite high on your... I may have risen quite high on your list of suspects. It is a price I'm willing to pay. Agatha bowed lightly before turning to leave. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. Artemi, Johanna. My words are far from unbiased, but all come from a place of truth. It is your duty as the Creator's chosen to strike down the evil of this world, is it not? I will be watching your future endeavors with utmost anticipation. With that, the old bat spread her wings and quietly fluttered down the street. Artemi could only stare after her in stunned silence. Well, that was fun. Okay, one more thing, right? Okay, so I assume we're gonna be with our boy Sid. This was an awkward sight, to say the least. Sid gulped nervously as he approached the smoking shop of Soul's arcane curiosities. The store looks even worse than when they had crashed a merchant cart through the front door. Ah, memories. Burnt marks plastered the wall and merchandise, laid scattered across the floor. Jagged cracks decorated the edges of the massive hole that resulted from Cole's explosive getaway. Standing alone at the center of the shop and staring solemnly at his mess was Clyde. The tiger looked up at Sid as Sid approached, a tired expression weighing heavy across his face. Hey. Is Cole doing okay? Oh, he seems to have healed up smoothly. Should be fine after a bit of rest. He's well enough to run off and handle some urgent stuff. More importantly, are you doing okay? Cole quietly turned back towards to his mess of a shop. It's hard to say. I ran back here to find Sol, but it turned out the old geezer didn't even leave the medic wing today. I got one hell of a talking to for letting the shop get blown up. The tiger leaned down with a strained sigh. But by some miracle, I didn't get fired. Which is nice and all, but after hearing about this disaster, most of the investors got more cautious of supporting me. Probably because I'm gonna be ass deep in debt, trying to pay off this mess. Clyde gestured at the smoking remains of the shop. Anyway, glad to hear Cole's up and running again. But not well, to swing by and say hi, apparently. Sid scratched his head awkwardly as he struggled to find something to say. The tiger's expression was unmoving and unreadable as stone. Hey, listen! I know there's a lot of complicated stuff between you two right now. But Cole didn't mean any harm by tricking you. He just wanted you to be at the tournament, so that you'd get the recognition you deserve. It wasn't his fault he got attacked. Cole he just wants the best for you, you know? Something snapped in Clyde as he turned around. Then why won't he talk to me? If he cares so much, why not just tell me? Enough games, enough scheming behind my back. Clyde's head hung low, his eyes squeezed shut. We used to be best friends, and then suddenly he'd avoid me for months on end, and then pretend nothing happened. I'm not a mind reader. If he wants to mend things, he can talk to me himself, instead of sending his new lackey to do the job. Sid grew quiet. And Clyde seemed to catch himself and shook his head apologetically. Sorry. I didn't mean to sound so. I'm not mad at you. He shook his head with a smile. Oh, Sid shook his head. No, you're right, honestly. Cole's a bit of a mess. And Clyde suddenly burst into a small laugh. You're telling me. Sid paused. He's trying, though. Don't get me wrong. He's been stumbling like a madman, from what I can see, but he's also trying so hard. Give him a bit more time. He'll come through, eventually. And Clyde lifted his head. His gaze fixed on Sid with a look of wistful consideration. I've waited over 8 years. There's a lot of time he's that's a lot of time he's asking for. The two of them jumped at the sound of the doorbell jingling, which was quite a feat since the shop's front door was blasted into splinters of wood across the floor. Oh, Maeve Osmia poked her head through the gaping hole in the wall, her head gently tapping the burnt doorbell. Her hand, not head. What? My apologies for the intrusion. I am the festival organizer and have come to assess the damages. Is it all right if I come in? Clyde let out a sigh and scratched his head. Yo, this is a store. You don't have to knock. Especially when we ain't got a front door anymore. Then allow me to offer my assistance to your door problem. The Festival Organization Committee has money set aside to pay for these damages. It was our duty to ensure your safety, and we have evidently failed. The least we could do is help your business recover. Well now, that's surprisingly decent of you.
Thanks, lass. I'll take whatever help I can get.
Sid shot a nervous glance towards Maeve, but the noble seemed unbothered by being addressed so casually. Perhaps there is more I can offer. My house has great interest in your blacksmithing skills, especially after seeing your creation at work in the tournament. Though House Osmia has no interest in weaponry, we wish to invest in enchanted tools and devices to aid my countrymen's work in the fields. Clyde scratched his head.
I suppose I can do that. A farmer's sickle ain't no different from an axe. What are you offering for my services?
The noble studied the wrecked store with a calculating look. Money will not be a problem. We can build a small forge in the back of this shop and refer you to our supplier for a start. All we ask in return is your skills in creating tools that would help my countrymen's work. Clyde was stunned.
That's more than I was expecting.
He let out a delighted laugh.
How could I say no to such an offer? Of course I'd accept. You've made yourself a very grateful friend today, lass.
The noble smiled underneath her silvery veil. That is wonderful to hear. The druids of the exterior have precious few friends within the city. We are always honored to find more. Sid watched their exchange with a sense of relief. Well, they suffered a few stumbles, but it looked like Cole's plan to get Clyde's career back on track worked out. A small part of Sid wished Cole were here to see this. And maybe be a little less stubbornly scheming. Okay. He sighed. Sid gave Clyde a quick congratulatory pat before leaving for the street once more. There was a nagging feeling in his gut that told him to find Cole again. The little hyena seemed to have a bad habit of trotting waist deep into trouble when left alone. Oh, okay. I'll end the part here. That sounds fine. So I'll see you around, everyone.